This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 191, Why Distraction Apps Matter, by Ryan Hoover of ryanhoover.me. And I am your host and narrator, Dan. I'm here every single day reading to you from some of the best blogs covering entrepreneurship, freelancing, and much more. And we're going to get right to it today as we start optimizing your life. Why Distraction Apps Matter, by Ryan Hoover of ryanhoover.me. I haven't called my parents in weeks, and it's been great. I hate talking on the phone, and I know I'm not the only one. Why? It's a terrible way to communicate. The audio quality is poor, calls drop, and its fidelity of expression is limited to our words and tone of voice. Plus, calling is intrusive. Unexpected interruptions demand control of our busy schedule. The ring of a phone is the equivalent to nails on a chalkboard. Miss a call? Prepare for further phone tag interruptions. Once you do connect on the phone, it's often a time suck. We've all been dragged into a 30-minute, drawn-out conversation. Sometimes it's difficult to politely end the call. Despite the deficiencies in this legacy technology, the phone is still perceived as a more intimate and respectful form of communication than mobile messaging. But should it? Today's mobile devices are equipped to enable new expressive ways to interact. Yes, selfies and stickers are silly, but does that make them less meaningful? We should respect new forms of communication rather than discount them as less important, pointless distractions. How distraction apps create real, lasting value. Earlier this year, I downloaded MessageMe, a mobile messaging app, and created a group named Hooverville, being that my last name is Hoover. I invited my mom, dad, and brother. Since then, not a day goes by without communicating with my distant family back in my hometown. Best of all, we communicate in a whole new, fun way. We banter, tease, share videos, snap selfies, and vandalize each other's faces as one does when given these tools. Even though we rarely talk on the phone, we're more connected than ever before since I moved out of the home years ago. These modicums of communication may not be particularly important, but collectively they bring the family together and strengthen our relationship. Small problems first, big problems later. There are far too many startup haters criticizing entrepreneurs for solving quote-unquote small problems. Why not eliminate world hunger, homelessness, cancer? That's the refrain from these folks. Yes, these are big problems, but not everyone is equipped with the skill set or intrinsic motivation to dedicate their life to these issues. Before judging the entrepreneur, consider your perspective. Do you know their grand vision? Have you spoken to the users of their product to understand how it shaped their lives? As Peter Thiel's Founders Fund famously states in its manifesto, quote, "We wanted flying cars. Instead, we got 140 characters," end quote. There are obvious pressing problems in this world, but recognize that even toys can change people's lives and better humanity. On the surface, MessageMe and other consumer products might look like a distraction, a waste of bits and talent, but in reality, they may achieve much more than what's on the surface, improving people's lives on a daily basis. Many of today's most transformative products began small. This is for good reason. Lean development makes it more likely a project will survive and thrive and not become a victim of its own overly ambitious scope. Big ideas are best reduced to their most parsimonious forms in order to reduce the time to market, adapt to user feedback, and lower risk. Sometimes the proverbial flying car starts with 140 characters, whether its founders know it or not. Cut lean startup some slack. Facebook was born as FaceMash, a hot or not-like site for rating Harvard students' attractiveness. Since its humble beginning, it has grown to more than 1 billion users, connecting friends and family across the world. Twitter was mocked as a pointless app for sharing one's breakfast, lavatory routine, and other menial updates. In reality, it is so much more. Twitter has become a new communication protocol and a source for breaking news, enabling information to spread faster and more widely than ever before. The Nintendo Wii is quite literally a toy, yet it brings generations together by making video games more accessible. It is often found in elderly homes, promoting healthful activities and, in some cases, combating Alzheimer's. More recently, Whisper, the anonymous secret-sharing app, has been criticized as just another photo-sharing app that encourages kids to bully and engage in lewd behavior. Nearly every product can and will be abused, but those that truly understand and observe the interactions on Whisper will discover its true purpose. A community of people sharing and empathizing with each other's deepest insecurities and emotional issues. millions of users express challenges with depression, loneliness, religion, politics, sexuality, and other vulnerable topics. Whisper is their outlet to cope with these topics privately. A similar misunderstanding lies in the story of Tinder, the dating app. As Paul Graham has said, quote, "People are bad at looking at seeds and guessing what size tree will grow out of them." End quote. We may one day add Google Glass, Fitbit, Medium, Snapchat, and several other nascent products and technologies to this list, proving critics wrong. Ultimately, history will be the judge. But as I evaluate startups and products, I am reminded that even the unsuspecting distractions can indeed change the world for the better. You just listened to the post titled "Why Distraction Apps Matter" by Ryan Hoover of ryanhoover.me. And I will tell you about Ryan in just a sec, but first a big thank you to Oracle for their ongoing support. We all want to know we have enough to get where we want to go. For instance, you either have enough energy to run a marathon, or you're on the side of the road wheezing. How about your startup? Does it have enough cloud computing power to win and handle the really big customers? You might think stable, enterprise-ready cloud infrastructure like Oracle's is out of reach for your new company. But Oracle for Startups was made just for you. Oracle wants to help you land those big customers, so they're offering preferred pricing on enterprise cloud for startups, free cloud credits, and 70% off their cloud services. And you'll get close with other founders who have ideas like yours, so you can pick partners and build the next big thing together. Oracle for Startups doesn't want you wheezing on the side of the road. They want you to have enough power to scale and land your dream customer. Visit oracle.com/go-to/OSD. That's oracle.com/go-to/OSD, and I have that linked in this episode's description. And thanks to Ryan for today's post. A little bit about him. He's the founder of Product Hunt, which is a must-read site for those in the tech and startup industries. It's kind of like Reddit, but for new products and more. He contributed to Nir Eyal's book, Hooked, and he's also an investor at Weekend Fund. The website is weekend.fund, and that's where he and his partner help early-age startups around the world with the one thing that most new businesses struggle to get: money. They provide checks for anywhere from $75,000 to $200,000 and help founders with product, community building, and more. So again, you can check all that out at weekend.fund. And Ryan is also featured across a couple of our shows. So if you like his style, if you like what you heard today, and this idea of blogs being narrated to you for free, check out our other shows by searching for Optimal Living Daily, wherever you're hearing this. All right, that's going to do it for this Friday installment of Optimal Startup Daily. I, of course, thank you for listening and for being a subscriber of the show. Have a great start to your weekend, and I will see you back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.